Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien and today's news: funding cuts deep, bike safety perks through council, local man keeps people warm and much more. Funding cuts are always unwelcome, but when it's a 62.5% cut of previous year's funding, it is not only unwelcome but could prove disastrous to the groups that quite often do the most in the community with the least. We talked with Victory Community Director Kendra Douglas and Penny Molnar, the Victory Centre's community nurse, about their concerns over these community-focused funding cuts. Kendra, thanks for taking the time to speak to us. I know you're very busy. Council is looking at cutting the funding for communities in the long-term plan this time around. What would be the direct impacts on the community, do you feel, if this happens?
Well, us and many other community organisations, there are about 90 I think that apply to this fund, will feel ever more vulnerable about not only just the way the money gets distributed but the amount. We've not been very highly supported even, over the last few years. So I think it just makes us go, what next? And it comes back to a fundamental kind of question I have for council is what is their commitment to social wellbeing? Because we believe that it's a core service. It's part of the infrastructure of our community, are the vulnerable.
Sure, and we all have to live in this community. Whatever affects the community always goes up and affects all of us in the end. So it's the base groups that are looking after all of our well-beings.
It's I can't remember who said it years ago, but it was the strength of a community is in their response to the most vulnerable or the most needy. And when we've got generally fairly low incomes and we've got high rents, there places that kind of ongoing pressure in our community. And we've seen it for years and years here, and it's not going away in a hurry. So to see something like this happening makes us feel very precarious.
Kendra, thanks very much for your time and thanks very much for all the work that you do in this area and in Nelson.
Thank you, and good on Mainland for keeping the voices coming through.
Penny, you're the community nurse down here. You work amongst a number of organisations. With this funding cut, if you could say something to council about this community, what would you like to say?
I'd like to say don't forget those who are the least visible, because if we don't all have a place in this community, how can we feel like we belong? And it's by belonging that reduces the feelings of disconnectedness. People don't care for each other so much if there's that feeling. I think the City Council is in a really good position to be able to facilitate a much better connection with all the different funders, and so therefore the funding gets spread evenly and appropriately. And we as a community, we know what's needed. I've always, having worked in the community for many years, I know that community agencies know where it's best to put the money. We need to be trusted to be part of making those decisions.
Sure, that's great. We have a lot of high-profile events like the ICC World Cup Cricket, which are great for everybody. Do you think some of these, like you say, unseen people are benefiting from these as well?
Never as much as others. They can't afford to go. I know some of them have been wonderful volunteers at the last cricket matches, and they love that, but that's a very small percentage. So I think there's lots of ways in which we can support families whose income is too small to actually participate. And it starts right from the little ones starting to play sport and enjoy the activities and the beauty of this region that we have.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Penny, for your comments.
Thanks.
This leaves a question: are these funding cuts being spread evenly throughout the whole community, or is it the volunteer sector that is bearing the brunt of these cuts? With the Mayor and CEO in China, along with Bill Finletter of Council-funded Economic Development Agency, away until the 21st of April for a ratepayer-funded trip, we are left awaiting a reply from Council to see if there is anyone who can speak to us about the long-term plan to answer that question. The old saying, if you want something done, do it yourself, is one that Nelson man Glenn Bisbee, in true Kiwi fashion, has taken to heart with his Keeping Kids Warm initiative. Glenn wanted to do something for the people in our community who he felt needed a bit of a hand to keep warm last winter. With another winter upon us and no respite for those hit by the wood burner ban, his efforts seem to be well needed. I spoke with Glenn about his efforts this week on behalf of others and what he has achieved so far. What made you start this project, community project?
I suppose we were kind of trying to come up with an idea that we could make a little bit of a difference to the community, and we came up with numerous ideas, and none of them really fit the bill as such. And then I kind of stumbled across this one, I don't know, probably after a few beers, and thought this one would be the most effective in terms of making the most difference for the least amount of effort, energy, kind of bang for your buck, I suppose. And then we just kind of coined it Keeping Kids Warm, and went out and basically just started getting into it, installing panel heaters into kids' bedrooms last winter. And it was, quite a good little project to be involved with. There was no umbrella organisation which we were working under. It was just us going out there and getting stuck into it and making a bit of a difference. So, and it felt good doing it too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great, and it's good to see you doing that and people like yourself taking up this sort of challenge. How can you afford to do this? Is it coming out of your own pocket?
Well, it came out of my good mate's pocket actually initially. Good mate Jamie Harrington from Hybrid Homes said to me that if I came up with a good idea, he'd be prepared to sponsor it and put the money up to do this. And he initially gave me $2,000, and we bought, I think, 40 panel heaters. And then since then, Nelson City Council gave Victory Community Centre, who we've been working closely with, about $2,000 or so. And that went a long way. And then individuals, $100 here, $200 there, $500 from a few lawyers in town, through the Give a Little site, which I set up. And we've totally raised about $7,000 so far, which is, not too bad. And yeah, we've been kind of, installing them as many as we can really into people's houses, into kids' bedrooms, people's lounges, what have you, and just kind of going for it really.
That's fantastic. And how many do you think you have installed so far? And can you tell us just a little bit about these heaters? What makes them sort of so great?
Well, we've installed probably about 60 or so, I think, and they're really efficient. They run about 10 cents a minute in terms of their cost in electricity. 10 cents an hour. And they are kind of a convection heater, so they're fixed to the wall, and slowly but surely the room will heat up in the course of a night. I mean, it's not instant heat, kind of just takes the chill off a room. You can't heat a too big a bedroom with them. They're to be installed into a kind of 4 metre by 3 metre room to be most effective. And yeah, we're just kind of been, just doing as many as we can, as quick as we can, really, as kind of winter like today kind of strikes. I'll be out there this afternoon and we'll probably whack in about 6 different people's houses, in the course of about 2 or 3 hours. So it's not a huge, it's not a huge time, effort, energy expenditure. It's just go out there and go for it.
Sure. And how are you meeting these people? Like with the wood burners getting taken out of houses and electricity bills going up, how are you sort of getting put on to these people that you are putting these panel heaters into?
Initially, we had Penny from Victory Community Centre. She was the wellbeing nurse there, and she was seeing people or kids in need, and so she'd refer them to me. I had nothing to do with kind of vetting them. She just gives me the number. Don't ask any questions, just go over there and just put it in and leave.
Glenn, for viewers that are watching, what would you say to people who want to help?
Well, they can go online and go to the givealittlesite.co.nz and look for Keeping Kids Warm and just make an online donation. They could give me a panel heater by just going and buying it from big box retailer and delivering it to my door. And I'll just install it accordingly. But probably the best one is the Keeping Kids Warm site. And that just goes straight to my bank account, and then I just go out there and purchase as many heaters as I can. And yeah, that's the easiest. So yeah, it'd be great if you could, because the more the merrier, Every one of these heaters you can buy them at the moment I can buy them wholesale from the box retailers for about $60 a pop. So $60 can go a long way in terms of one winter's warmth, or many years of warmth really, but let's get them in right now. Yeah.
Nelson Police is seeking information to help locate Cesar Custa and have a warrant for his arrest for breaching post-detention conditions. He is believed to be in the Nelson area. Custa is 170 centimetres tall of Spanish descent. Anyone who has seen him or his grey Subaru Legacy, registration SU8251, should contact Nelson Police immediately. The message for cyclists from Bikewise, New Zealand Police and Nelson City Council at the end of daylight savings is be bright. Nelson is one of 12 cities around New Zealand focused on reducing cycling accidents and increasing awareness of cyclist safety through this campaign. Cyclist visibility to other road users, especially during times of low light, is an essential part of cyclist safety. Nelson City's 2015 Be Bright campaign involves checkpoints at key locations where police will assess gear and lights. Those that pass the test will be rewarded with bells and puncture repair kits. Cyclists that do not have adequate lights will be given some assistance while stocks last. Roving cycle ambassadors will stop cyclists without lights and offer to fit lights on their bikes at no cost. Cycling ambassadors will be attending major cycling events and giving out lights and high visibility clothing. You can also get a free bike bell from Council's Customer Service Centre, and cyclists are being encouraged to use their bell to alert walkers and joggers when passing. Hopefully viewers were kitted up for warmth today after we said in yesterday's news bulletin that the Met Service had predicted a drop in temperatures. This cold snap was felt across the country and brought on by the big chill coming from Antarctica air mass, which is still crossing New Zealand from the southwest. Overnight, the temperatures dropped in Nelson to 3 degrees Celsius after snow began falling on the western ranges late Monday afternoon, leaving the mountains behind Waimea and Motueka covered with the first of the year's early snowfall. The cold snap now has locals donning warmer clothing as this cold spell is set to last through Wednesday and Thursday. And of course, with winter coming, so does the cost rise for keeping warmer. We sent Leonard out to ask the people on the streets of Nelson how they are planning to keep warm this winter.
The winter chill has arrived early this year. How are you coping so far?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, not too cold.
Not too cold. I get back and forth from Australia a fair bit, so I feel it when I come back here. But yeah, it's definitely, the chill has definitely arrived, as you can tell. I look like an Australian in Nelson, don't I? I'm all clad up as though it's going to pour.
Not too bad. I got all my woolly jumpers out, but I need a woolly hat. I'm going to go shopping for a woolly hat.
I'm coping okay, but I'm starting to feel the cold, especially when you get up early.
Yeah, keeping warm. We're trying not to light the fire yet. I don't like to light the fire till the end of the month.
Oh, easy. Doesn't worry me. I like the cold.
What is your preferred source of heating?
Well, actually, I use a wood range that heats the water and electricity and gas top stove, yeah.
We have a wood fire, which I think is the best way to heat.
I'm basically heating it with a wall heater, and when you use the stove, all the heat from that, we try and close all the windows and curtains early to keep the warmth in when we do have the sun. Yes, so basically that's mainly the warmth what we get here.
We have a log burner.
And
That's
radiators.
all. Yeah, and radiators, yes. We're a bit old-fashioned.
I don't need heating. I've got sun all day, very airy and plenty of light and just a small heater in the evening.
What is your preferred source of heating?
I'd love to be off the grid completely, actually. I'd like to afford solar, but I'll get round to that sometime.
I probably prefer a heat pump. Where you've got two options. One with the heat for the winter and one for the cooling for the summer, so we can use either. If it gets too hot, we can cool it down a little.
I think if we had a modern house, we'd probably have heat pumps. But we've got an old villa with a big old log burner.
Oh, an open fire would be the ideal thing, but
We don't have that many in New Zealand now. We have that heat pump thing that's just terrible.
How are the power prices this time of year?
Electricity prices are horrendous. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that. So you just try and, that's why our water runs off a wood range. We've only got to light it for like 2 hours a day and we've got hot water. So we actually run it right through summer. So I haven't switched the electricity on in about 10 years on the hot water cylinder. So that makes a difference. But of course, Nelson, you can't light fires. I'm out in the wop-wops.
Well, obviously it goes up. I mean, even having a wood fire, the wood isn't cheap. So, yeah, it's good to have a house that's in the sun a lot.
Pretty awful. For example, when I used to have an oil heater. For this time of year, when it's getting colder, it used to cost the household $600 and something instead of $200, $300 a month, and that's a big jump between the ordinary people who don't have oil heaters and people who do. Yeah. So that's why I enjoy the most is when I've got a wall heater where it doesn't chew up a lot of power like the oil heaters do. It's the same with the, and I've noticed it with the heat pumps because I used to live in a Housing New Zealand house with a heat pump in it, and I was paying my own power and everything, and the highest bill I had in there was about $250 with the heat pump going. Yeah, I've been finding a big difference.
Oh, my power bill's fine. It's just depending how much you use, I don't use much, and so my power bill's very low.
How was the cost of power last winter?
Well, I put mine on a smooth pay, so I don't really notice it because I just pay a certain amount every time, but certainly it's getting more expensive.
I'm hoping it'll be similar.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
I'm Francis from Nelson Auto Glass. We repair all auto glass, stone chips, windscreen replacements, scratch removal.
If you have an auto glass issue, our team will sort it.
Nelson Auto Glass Specialist, 84 Vanguard Street, Nelson.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from The Facilitators. We now look after sales for mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more.
Jaycar, 120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Hi, I'm John McMillan at the Nelson Power Tool Centre. We have great prices on all the top quality brands of power tool. Tools and equipment at our showroom, 146 Tahunanui Drive in Nelson. The Nelson Power Tool Centre, the specialists that stand behind and service what we sell.
Discover the Belgrove Tavern, just 20 minutes south of Richmond on State Highway 6.
A restaurant, functions, weddings, barbecue, garden bar with lots of room for kids. Come in, see us.
Tai quiz is set on the new section of the Mai Tai Walkway, and you can do it as a fun Easter holiday activity with the whole family and be in to win a prize by matching the native plants to the numbered locations. This runs through till the 17th of April. For more information, please go to the link below.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa. For more information, you can contact Jan on 546 9057 or 027 4577 955.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level. For more information, please contact Shirley on 547 1433 or 021 121 8023. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Hey, I'm Caleb.
And I'm Georgia from Broods.
And you're watching Mainland TV.
Hi, my name's Ian Mortimer. Mortimer Auto Upholstery is your one-stop shop for all your upholstery needs. We do car and boat interiors, boat canopies, ute tonneau covers, canvas and PVC fabrication. Call in and see us in Oxford Mews, 72 Oxford Street, Richmond.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan, and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Rats, stoats and possums are killing our native birds and reptiles. You can stop this tragedy.
The Brookway Marama Sanctuary is building a pest-proof fence which will allow native wildlife to flourish and spread into our lives.
Help us preserve our native wildlife.
Your support is needed now. You can personally or as a group sponsor a fence post for as little as $100, including the legacy of a personalised plaque.
Go to thebrooksanctuary.org or give us a call.
And be part of this exciting community project.
The Brookway Marama Sanctuary, returning nature to the Nelson region.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
Electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. Jaycar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.